prepare to fathom such a wonder. But I actually haven't stood in front of a camera and shot a new video in many, many days. I really don't know the last time I did. I shot so many at a time that I was able to release 3, 4, 5 a day without having to stand in front of a camera and do a new one in like at least, I feel like a week maybe. And I'm not planning on shooting another one for a little bit more. So maybe even another half a week or whatever. Just want to take a break from actually shooting videos, this being the exception. So in real time, like I published this like just minutes after I shot it. So this is the freshest video you've actually seen in a while. All those other ones were shot days ago. What I thought would be interesting, something I've never done on this channel, is give you a preview of some upcoming video ideas I have. So that way, whenever I do start shooting videos again, I'll have plenty to run through based off comments that have come through videos or just other ones in general. By the way, trivia, I'm gonna show you my shirt. I know I've done a video on this before for the hamster dad, but it's funny because it's my hamster shirt, and you know, it's Friday, so I just wrapped up a day's work, you know, working from home, and we did, you know, what is it called, Microsoft Teams. So, you know, half a dozen of us on there, and it was first time we've done a video call. So we, you bring your pets to work day. So everybody had their dogs, and I holding my hamster for like 30 minutes, like crawling through my hands. So I was like, I got to dress appropriately for this meeting for work. With that being said, what I'm going to do, I think will be interesting, is I'm just going to stick this up so you can see it, and then I'll run through what these videos are kind of briefly, just to give you an idea of upcoming videos that I plan to record once I start recording fresh videos again. So if you want to just press pause once that focuses, maybe take a minute, or is it even going to? There we go. Well, I did it for just a second. There you go. You can just freeze that, press pause. And then there's the back side of it as well. And you can try to press pause. But just to give you an idea, so what I'm gonna do is just tell you the premise of all these videos that I'm planning to do. So one, I wanna talk about how I was born and raised in the Appalachians of Alabama. A lot of people don't realize that the Appalachians end in Alabama. They end right where I grew up. I wanna talk about the concept of Black Americans who drive Jeeps. I think that's an interesting topic. I'm always looking at new demographics, and I think that'd be a cool topic to see, you know, to converse with any drivers who happen to be Black, because typically Black people have not driven Jeeps, and now it's starting to happen, and I want to facilitate that conversation. I think it's interesting. And you know, a lot of these videos are gonna be stupid hair loss videos. Think about this. Imagine someone who went to school for, you know, producing videos, and they wanted to make movies, and instead they got stuck doing reality TV, like the Housewives of Atlanta or whatever, the stupid show. See, that's how I feel about these hair videos. The free market supports those videos, not mature stuff, but this bald stuff. So a lot of these would be that. Someone had left a comment about DHT, as far as, is it your destiny ultimately to, like, you're born with a certain amount of hair on your head versus you can actually do things to lose it. And a lot of people think that you can actually speed up the process of going bald by, you know, making the DHT more activated, whereas I am a fatalist and I say you're born with, basically it's already in your DNA which hair is going to fall out versus not. That'd be interesting. There was a comment that somebody left talking about how I've very easily made it obvious to predict if you're going to go bald or not, but people aren't even reacting to that anymore. They just still keep asking the same questions. So somebody commented and said, well, maybe it's because they're continuing to seek someone to give them confirmation that they're not going to go bald, even if they are. So I think that's an interesting thing, that you're not really looking for the answer, am I going bald? But they're looking for someone to tell me, you're not going to go bald. And I'm not that person. I'm actually being truthful instead. The next one on Vartanian story. There's a guy, Cody Vartanian, that I grew up in Alabama, and there's a funny story entitled Skate or Die that I'll tell. Well, it took place in 1989. Peter Pan player, that was a comment that showed up in on one of my videos. I think that's an interesting concept. I want to do a video on what it means to be a Peter Pan player in regards especially to hair loss. Next is, I morally disagree with you, but believe in equal rights for all people anyway. I think that's an interesting, emotionally intelligent concept. A lot of people think if they morally disagree with someone, then that person themselves deserves less rights. I think that's a silly concept. Next is, I support hair loss drugs for women, not men. Yeah, that's based on a recent a recent video I made, and it sort of points out this bit of a double standard between women and men. But I do support helping women prevent hair loss or get their hair back, whatever, even using drugs to do that. But I don't feel the same way about men. It's a double standard. I'm very open and confident about that. It needs its own video. Next is dry spikes. So the concept that when I get out of the shower, if I just blow dry my hair and don't put any product in it, it looks like dry spikes. I want to show you what my hair looks like without product in it. Next, Black Lives Matters, how I make money on YouTube. You know, somebody had left a comment on one of my Black Lives Matters videos saying one of the ways you can actually help is to support local business owners who are black. And so I thought, on a similar note, what if I make a video specifically for black Americans to teach them, hey, there's a lot of money you can make on the side from doing YouTube. So I mean, last month, I got my check for $540. That's for last week's. I got it last week, but it was for the month before. I mean, just for making silly videos. So I would love to teach people how to do that, but specifically the black community, because I think they've got a unique perspective that I could not. And so I think that's a way I could help in a sense. So I'll make that video. Next, India and China. Okay, hair loss, ugly skin. So somebody left a comment saying how in China or in India, I guess maybe China, that if you have dark skin, then you're seen ugly. People see you as ugly if you're a woman, and if you're bald, then no matter what, you're ugly. So, and I do agree that it's worse in countries like that. Like if you're going bald, it's harder to be accepted compared to the United States, and I want to openly acknowledge that. Next, hair loss simplicity. No, hair loss simp, you or me. Look up simp, find out what that is. I already know the answer. I think that's worth exploring. Next, recruiting MGTOWs, my platform. I've got some people who are MGTOWs, whether they recognize it or not, and they use my platform to try to recruit other people to their mentality, so that needs its own video. How I look younger and younger. Somebody had commented that I continue to look younger. How do I do it? I need to make that video. Next, how old shaved heads looks. So the concept is, you know, in theory, if you shave your head, you'll look older. Up until a certain point, then it won't make you look older, it might actually make you look younger. I think that's interesting to explore. Next, hair loss conversion age chart. So someone had left a comment talking about how if you're a Norwood 3 at age 20, it's not the same as a Norwood 3 at age 40. And so what if there was a conversion chart to say, you know, because for me, I'm 2.5 Norwood and I'm 39 years old. But if I were 19, that might be a scarier thing. So I think that's definitely, I need to write that out and figure that out and do a video. Next, Alex Shannara of hair loss. Google Alex Shannara and you'll see the concept is he's everywhere, I'm everywhere. Next, all male insecurities. Here's an interesting concept. So obviously I am making money off the concept that young insecure guys are worried if they're gonna go bald. So I help them determine that, and then I provide the actual solution, which here's a list of 10 things you can actually do so that you'll be more attractive aside from your looks. So I thought, well, if that's only one insecurity people have, what about other ones that males have? So I'm gonna do one on, you know, I'm short, my nose is big, you know, things like that, whatever. I'm not good at sports. I wanna do a whole series on that and see if I can bring in more demographics of insecure young men, only to lead them to the things that will actually help them change inside man. And that's only the front page. I was hoping for only a 10-minute video. Next, I want to do one acknowledging that black Americans have a certain accent than the rest of the country, that it's a fact. It's not politically incorrect to say that's a fact. I'm an English major. I have some insight on that. We talked about it when I was getting my English degree. That's worth talking about. I have several ones about the weight training thing. One is talking about how you have to run, you have to change your diet, and lift weights. They're not all equal, but you have to do them all to see results. Next is leg days not fun. Why is that? Next, I want to do one of those twin videos. One where I say that I'm skinny while I'm standing in front of a mirror, and then another one where I say I'm fat, and just see how people respond to see, because that's a reflection of themselves more than is me. Next, weight training, itchy underwear. Oh, that's going to be a fun one. Next one, weight training, protein versus consumable retained okay, so for example, you could eat 30 pounds of protein in a steak, or you could eat a certain number of eggs, and actually, even though the steak would have more protein, you'd be able to retain more protein from the egg. So I want to talk about that. Next, you will go, oh, another twin video. You will go bald, and then another one, you will not go bald, and see how people respond to it. Next, male pattern baldness is not the same as stress-induced hair loss. I want to Google the name of what stress-induced hair loss is as a medical condition and make it clear that's not the same as male pattern baldness, because I always talk about you can't cause hair loss. I'm referring to male pattern baldness. That's two different things. Next, uneven hairline. A lot of people have questions about, Nick, my hairline's uneven. What do I do? Does that mean I'm gonna go bald? Next, weight training. No fried food, or trans fats, no bread, no kosher. It's talking about all the foods I never eat or refuse to eat. Next, what do I do for a living? All of my jobs, not just the one I do in the kitchen as I'm working from home, but my other side jobs. And next, beard dye is feminine unless you're married. So I want to talk about the concept of it's more masculine to remain married and make your wife happy by dyeing your beard versus not. I think that's very interesting. It talks about the double standards. And then lastly, weight loss, vegan weight loss, then bulk up. What if you were overweight and weren't working out? You went vegan for a year, lost all this protein and fat, but at least you lost the fat, and then you're not a vegan anymore and you start working out. Would that be a way to kind of speed the process of shedding fat off of you to bulk up? So there you go. If you would like to chime in and add any suggestions or even comment on any of those things, it could actually help me prepare for when I actually do shoot the video. I don't know when I'm going to release new videos. This is the last one I plan to do until I get to work on all of these. That's a lot of videos. So just want to give you a preview. Wow, like an 11.5 minute video. Your comments belong right here.